Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next presentation from Else Nutrition Holdings, a food and nutrition company focused on developing innovative, clean, and plant-based products. Please note you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Hamutal Yitzhak, co-founder and CEO of Else Nutrition Holdings, Inc., which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol BABYF and on the TSX under the symbol BABY. Welcome, Hamutal.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Else Nutrition is leading the infant formula plant-based clean nutrition revolution with the world's first whole plant-based dairy and soy-free infant formula range. We are currently selling our products for babies, toddlers, and kids in North America and rapidly growing. We're advancing towards an FDA approval on an infant formula below 12 months, anticipated within 18 to 24 months. We are experiencing exponential growth with a 10x North American retail store count growth year over year, 22 to 23, and nationwide retail and distribution partners like CVS that have listed us, CVS and Walmart. We have started our global expansion in 2022 and now focused on strategic partnerships worldwide. We are expanding our market share in the toddler and kid markets, while soon entering the infant formula market through the FDA approval and creating a third alternative to the dairy and soy-based formulas targeting an untapped market. We have a strong industry and scientific expertise. We are on our path to becoming the global scientific leader in the clean nutrition, plant-based infant formula market. We have sustainable ingredients which are expected to have 65% lower carbon footprint versus the other brands which are basically made of dairy. And we have a strong global patent portfolio that includes 3 different families based on composition, based on process, and on usage. We intend to become cash flow positive at the second half of next year. The challenge in this industry has always been to mimic the human milk nutritional composition, which is considered the golden standard. But this is a very difficult task because of the very specific ratios between all the macro and micronutrients, the macronutrients themselves, and very stringent regulation that has to be met. On top of everything, human milk is a whole food, and it is digested in its whole form by the baby, although the current formulas that are in the market based on dairy and soy are not whole foods. Actually, what we have in the market, as I said, is just dairy and soy. These are the 2 protein sources that have managed to meet those very stringent regulation codes. And both of them are ultra-processed and are problematic from different aspects. One of the most important parts of this problem is that both of them are strong allergens. Both of them have also generate concerns with a lot of consumers regarding a lot of contaminants like antibiotics and hormones and pesticides, whether it's on the dairy side or GMOs, whether it's on the soy side. There are concerns about animal welfare and environmental issues and certain levels of phytoestrogens in the soy case where they may disrupt the hormone system, so they're not necessarily considered safe. Lots of issues with those 2 protein sources, but these are the only options that exist in the market. Actually, the market is based mainly on dairy because since the soy has not been considered as that safe in the past 20 years, it has declined to 5% of the total global market, and mainly the market is based on dairy today. So Else has the preferred solution. not containing any dairy and not containing any soy, without those concerns, free of those concerns, meeting the regulatory standards and the desired composition, free of the antibiotics and hormones and all the rest of the nasties, has core ingredients which have 65% lower carbon footprint versus our competitors all over, and with zero chemical processing, only based on whole food ingredients. We are playing in two growth markets. One of them is the global infant formula market, which is anticipated to grow to around $130 billion by 2026. The growth is supported by the trend or the desire of consumers to find cleaner and more sustainable alternatives than what they can find today. We already know that 40% of the infant milk formula that is sold in the US alone has been specialty cow's milk formulas, which are catering to allergic or intolerant babies. The other part is the plant-based food market, which is anticipated to continue to grow. It's here to stay. And the growth is supported by people adopting all kinds of alternative food options across all channels. And we are creating a sustainable plant-based alternative in an untapped market without any direct competition in the infant space. So as I said, our core ingredients are 65% lower in their carbon footprint versus the dairy formula, which generates 10 kg with their major proteins, the whey protein and the skimmed milk powder. So that's an average of 10 kg per kg of product, while in our case, our two major protein sources, the almond and the buckwheat, generate an average of 3.65 kg per kg of product. With regards to the competitive landscape of ELSE, you can see that there are different brands, mainly the big box companies like the Abbott's and the Nestle's of the world. All of them have the same range of products that are based on dairy or on soy, different brand names, different products, but they're all the same. And there's us, there's ELSE, which is a whole plant-based formula. So the in-market products are currently starting from 6 months with the baby cereal range, a 12-month product, which is a toddler nutrition range, and a 3+ years range of products up to, 13 years of kids' nutritional drinks product range. And in the future, we are anticipating an FDA and European approval on the infant formula, which is 0 to 12 months. We carry all those seals of quality, and we are particularly proud in the Clean Label Purity Award certification, which actually tests all our products to be free of 400 different contaminants, pesticides, and heavy metals that were already found in many baby food products in the US. That's why, for example, our baby cereal product or range, which is the first product range in that category in the US to carry that seal, was very, very shortly after the launch, ranked bestseller on Amazon in the baby cereal category. Our secret sauce and our twofold paradigm shift is, first of all, creating a novel protein source, and secondly, we have created a completely different and novel ingredient processing method, which keeps our ingredients intact in terms of keeping them as whole foods without all the contaminants, without all the very aggressive processing that is done sometimes by chemicals in our industry. So we are avoiding all the controversial proteins and the highly processed ingredients and processes. We are all natural. Our core ingredients are kept in their natural form. Our composition meets the infant formula global standards. We are free of all the nasties. We are most sustainable product in our industry and the cleanest label. In fact, we can say that we are the world's only formula that maintains the natural way of nutrients digestion as intact ingredients or intact proteins in their natural form, in their natural food matrix. I mean, when you get a product that is already actually digested because it is broken down to the peptide or to the amino acid level, that's not natural digestion. We keep our ingredients whole as whole foods. And that's why when they're entered into our digestive system, they are digested in the natural way or the way nature intended. So that's the main thing. We're not using any of those acids or solvents or derivatives or isolates or hydrolysates or all those peculiar names that are done in our industry and are not very favorable of many parents already. Let's look at our North American retail distribution milestones in the past 2 years. So we started our pathway in the retail space in February 22 with Sprouts. That was our first retailer. And a year later, in 22, at the beginning of 22, we were listed in 12,000 stores in the US. In November 22, we were listed already in 3,500 stores in US and Canada. But in March 23, a year after we were listed in 1,200 stores, we were already listed in 12,000 stores in North America, US and Canada. So these are our partners in North America, including the largest distributors in the US for natural foods, UNFI and KeHE, and Gourmet Trading in Canada, which is a very well-known distributor for the natural food space. Our retail partners include Walmart and CVS, which are nationwide retailers, and definitely many more, which are mid-sized grocers or natural space grocers. And there's many more into that list, which are not shown here. In Canada, right at the launch time, we were actually listed right after that. We were listed with the largest retailers in Canada, like Loblaws, Sobeys, Shoppers, and many more. And online, we have the largest online players in North America, which we are selling on and growing very fast. In terms of the velocity, the in-store velocity, so these are SPINS data. This is a syndicated data from the natural space in the US. And you can see the growth in store in terms of the units per store per week. And if you look backwards, you can see the growth looking 52 weeks backwards, 24 weeks backwards, 12 weeks backwards, and 4 weeks backwards. You see the growth in the velocity in those stores across all our products. Let's look deeply into Sprouts, which was the first retailer we onboarded in February of 21. So you can see here a track record of 2 years going backwards. And you can see that we doubled our units per week per store and exceeded the category standard, which is 1. We went up to 1.5 and keep on growing. We have tripled our annual revenue per store with a single SKU, which is the toddler product, the toddler organic product, generating something that started from 0 up to $3,000 per store. And here we can see the stores that were reported on that platform, SPINS, which are all natural space stores, these are all small stores that doesn't even reflect the revenues in bigger stores like Walmart and many others. But in a small store, you can see that we generated a $3,000 revenue with a single SKU. And these are the number of stores that were listed on that platform, which started from nothing, and over the course of 2 years, reached over 1,600. Our forecast, as far as it goes, as far as it refers to distribution, is to be listed in 20,000 stores by the end of the year, to double our points of distribution from 25,000 to 50,000, meaning the number of SKUs multiplied by the number of stores. In China, where we have launched in the recent year, at the end of 22, we expect to generate significant revenues in 2024. It takes time to build a brand in a country like China, but the opportunity is huge. We're currently selling on several e-commerce platforms, with more pending. In Australia, we anticipate to launch our product as a gateway to China with a novel product launch, which doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. It's actually going to be an infant product. We anticipate to launch there at the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter. Same goes for Europe. We anticipate to launch, to start with the UK as the first market in Europe, which should be followed by additional countries in 2024. So this is how we're going to look like. We started in US, then Canada, then China, then Australia and UK, and many other European countries to be followed in 2024 through strategic partnerships that we are now focused on. In terms of manufacturing, we tripled our manufacturing capacity with new 3 partners, 2 in USA and 1 in Europe, to support this exponential growth. We are piloting now with a North American manufacturing partner on ready-to-drink products that are planned to be launched in the fourth quarter of 23 in North America. This is a huge category that we are going to be playing in, and we haven't touched yet. The ready-to-drink category is catering kids as well as adults, and that's where we aim to be. We are also planning to become cash flow positive at the second half of 24. So we've already made a lot of efforts to reduce our costs, and that was enabled through our economies of scale and through this growth that we have experienced in the past year. So we reduced the cost of certain raw materials. We have reduced the cost of manufacturing, but we anticipate to see additional reduction by the end of the year, up to more than 50% by the end of this year. This is very significant. We've already reduced our marketing costs in more than 50%. That already started at the beginning of this year. And we are planning, as I said, to continue our geographic expansion based only on strategic and local collaborations, while we would limit our expenditure and investment into marketing and sales in those additional countries. And definitely create strategic partnerships and actually use or engage with marketing distributors. In terms of the FDA, we have concluded 2 preclinical studies to support the safety of the ingredients and the infant formula itself, as well as the protein quality or the protein efficiency and they were both very successfully concluded. The clinical part has to demonstrate the safety of the new infant formula on healthy infants, and is planned to start as soon as we get the FDA feedback and approval. We are awaiting the FDA feedback on the protocols. We already have submitted the protocols, and we already received the ethical committee approval for these protocols. So this is the FDA update. We are anticipating to get this feedback every day now. These are this is the leading team of ELS, which are all veterans of the infant nutrition or infant formula industry in Israel, who led the operations of the big companies, the big brands like the Abbott's and the Nestle's of the world. We did that in Israel, and we have the capacity and the knowledge across all value chain of infant nutrition to support that growth on a global scale with our innovation. We have a very strong scientific advisory board, both in North America as well as in Europe. Those people are the leading KOLs in our industry. They set the guidelines in infant nutrition all over the world and are the leading researchers in that space. And they are heavily involved in our clinical pathway to get the FDA and the European permits. These are our revenues across the years. This is the annual growth between 2020 and 2022. And this is the quarterly revenue growth on the right side of the screen, where you can see the quarterly revenue growth in the past 3 quarters. As of March 23, we've had 10 million Canadian dollars in our cash position. And this is the capital structure. The market cap is around 85 million Canadian dollars. And the management ownership is around 26%. Just to recap with some investment highlights, we're the world's first whole plant-based infant formula, which is dairy and soy-free. We're the third alternative in the global market, and we have no direct competition. We are an award-winning product with achievements on Amazon as the first #1 baby cereal in the category. We have strong global patents. We have increased our retail footprint 10x since last year to 12,000 stores. We have strong distribution and manufacturing partners for global expansion. We've launched in the USA in the 4th quarter of 2020. We've launched in Canada in the 3rd quarter of 22. In the 4th quarter of 22, we already launched in China, in the world's largest infant formula market. We are launching the product in the 3rd quarter in Australia and in the first market in the EU, which is the UK. We are awaiting an FDA approval that is pending on infant formula in the US, and also we are waiting a European approval that is pending and subject to the successful infant growth study that is expected to start. And we are anticipating to become cash flow positive at the 2nd half of the next year. Thank you so much.